It is a Tuesday in late spring, 6 million years ago. The world is lush, vibrant, and deafeningly alive. In the region we now call Hell Creek, Montana, the sun rises over a landscape dominated by giants. The air is warm, thick with humidity, and the scent of magnolia and conifers. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, the apex predator of this age, stalks through the undergrowth. Her massive footfalls silenced by the soft, fern-covered earth. She is not hunting, merely patrolling a kingdom that has stood for 160 million years. Life here follows a rhythm, as ancient as the stones. Herds of Triceratops graze in the open plains, their beaked mouths shearing through tough palm fronds. Along the riverbanks, massive Edmontosauras drink their fill, wary of the shadows. High above, the pterosaur Quetzalcoatlus casts a moving shadow over the canopy. Its wingspan rivaling that of a small airplane. Everything is as it should be. Nature is brutal, yes, but it is stable. But high above the atmosphere, a silent intruder is approaching. A rock 10 kilometers wide, roughly the size of Mount Everest, is hurtling through the vacuum of space at 45,000 miles per hour. It has traveled for eons to get here. It is indifferent to the life below. It carries with it an energy equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs. The dinosaurs do not look up. They do not know that their reign is ending.
They have exactly 6 seconds left of the Cretaceous period.
The asteroid hits the upper atmosphere. In an instant, the sky is torn apart. A flash of light, brighter than 1,000,000 suns, blinds every creature within a 1,000-mile radius. The silence of space is replaced by a sonic boom that shatters eardrums across the continent. The bolide punches a hole through the atmosphere, compressing the air beneath it, until it becomes plasma hotter than the surface of the sun. Impact. The asteroid strikes the shallow waters of the Yucatan Peninsula. It does not splash, it vaporizes. In a fraction of a second, the asteroid and the bedrock beneath it are converted into gas and dust.
A crater 180 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep is excavated in a heartbeat.
The energy release is absolute. The ground behaves like a fluid, rippling and rising into a mountain of melt rock, twice the height of Everest, only to collapse back into the molten earth moments later.
Minute 1. The shockwave begins its march.
It moves outward from ground zero at speeds defying comprehension. Trees are not just knocked over, they are atomized. Water is flash-boiled into steam. The Tyrannosaurus in Montana, thousands of miles away, pauses. She feels the tremor in the ground long before she hears the sound. The birds fall silent. The wind stops. The Earth itself seems to hold its breath.
Minute 5. The ejecta curtain rises.
Billions of tons of molten rock, glass, and debris are blasted into suborbital space.
This is not just dust. It is a wall of Earth aimed at the stars.
As this debris reaches the vacuum of space, it cools rapidly, freezing into tiny glass beads called tektites.
But gravity is a relentless master. What goes up must come down.
Minute 30. The sky begins to darken.
Not from clouds, but from the shadow of the debris cloud expanding globally.
In the Americas, the horizon begins to glow with an ominous red light.
It is the infrared radiation from the re-entry of the ejecta.
The atmosphere begins to heat up. This is not a gentle warming. It is a broiler oven turning on. Hour 1. The rain of fire begins. The glass tektites re-enter the atmosphere, friction turning them into glowing missiles.
The sky becomes a sheet of incandescent plasma.
The air temperature spikes dramatically. In North America, dry vegetation instantly bursts into flames.
Forests of the Cretaceous are now a global bonfire.
The animals that survived the initial earthquake and shockwave now face a new horror.
The heat is inescapable. It is hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit.
The Triceratops panic, their thick hides offering no protection against the superheated air.
They wheeze, their lungs burning with every breath. Smaller animals, the early mammals and lizards, scurry into burrows,
But seeking refuge underground. This instinct will save their lineage.
The dinosaurs have nowhere to hide.
Hour 3. The fires have joined together to form hypercanes. Massive firestorms that create their own weather systems, sucking oxygen out of the air.
The mighty T-Rex, confused and terrified, collapses. The heat has cooked the proteins in her eyes, and she is blind.
She roars one last time, a sound of defiance against a universe that has turned against her.
Before succumbing to the smoke and the heat. Hour 6. The secondary assault arrives.
The impact created a displacement of water so massive it defies modern geography. A mega-tsunami, initially kilometers high, has raced across the Gulf of Mexico and into the open ocean. It crashes onto the coastlines of the world.
Waves the size of skyscrapers scour the land, stripping away soil, forests, and the charred remains of the dinosaurs.
It washes the slate clean.
Hour 10. The fires begin to die down, simply because there is nothing left to burn.
The roar of the firestorms is replaced by a hissing steam as the black rain begins to fall.
This rain is acidic, a toxic brew of vaporized rock and water.
It hisses as it hits the hot ground.
The silence returns, but it is the silence of a graveyard. Hour 15. The darkness is total.
The soot and dust from the fires and the impact have choked the stratosphere.
Sunlight cannot penetrate this shroud. Photosynthesis stops globally. The plants that weren't burned will now wither. The marine food chain collapses as phytoplankton die off in the dark oceans. Hour 24. The first day of the Paleogene era begins. The sun tries to rise, but it is nothing more than a dim, gray smudge behind a curtain. The temperature is plummeting. The broiler oven has been replaced by a deep freeze. A nuclear winter has set in. The great giants are gone. Their bodies, now ash and bone, are slowly being buried by the falling gray snow of toxic debris.
But in the silence, there is a rustle.
A small, shrew-like mammal pokes its nose out of a burrow.
It sniffs the acrid air. Hungry.
It scuttles across the ash, finding a roasted beetle.
It eats. It survives. The reign of the dinosaurs is over. The apocalypse was absolute.
But life is tenacious. From the ashes of the monsters, a new world will rise.
This was the worst day in the history of life on Earth.
But without it, we would not be here.